My name is Betty Kirote, and welcome to another episode of Disability Awareness Podcast. This is a platform where I share my experiences as a person with disability and also bring other persons with disabilities on board to share their experiences with the aim of creating disability awareness and reducing stigma that is normally associated or attached to disability. In today's episode, I want us to talk about some of the best practices when interacting or when dealing with a person who is visually impaired. One of the practices that I feel like is helpful when you are interacting or when you are handling or dealing with a person who is visually impaired is describing the room or a new space. For example, when you go to a space that is they are not conversant to, or they don't like frequent as much, it's important to, maybe a hotel room, I'll use a hotel room as an example. It's important to describe or to help them, because it helps them like know their surrounding, like tell them. I think I will do a video on how I normally learn a new space, mostly hotels, when I travel, so that you see like how to help a person who is visually impaired know their surrounding or know their environment. It's important to walk them around, to tell them that here there's a table, this other side there's bed, this other side when you walk directly there's a washroom. Yeah, that is important, because now someone is alert. They know, if I want to go to the washroom, this is the direction. If the table, you're looking for the table, or you want to know where the charging ports are, it becomes easier. So if it's a new space, kindly, it's important to describe. That is a very good practice, so that they know where they are. Another thing in terms of description is when you, for example, when you go to a room, or when you go for a meeting, or when you go to the bar, you tell them, like, you see, like if it's a meeting, there's the place, or there's the front, like where I'm trying to find the word, what we normally call it, where the people who are addressing the meeting, or where people stand to talk. It's important you tell them that this way is this way, like this direction is where people are talking from, or this is where the people who are addressing us are, so that when we're in the course of the meeting, because there are speakers in the room, and this happens a lot, because you see, someone is visually impaired, or I am blind, so I mostly depend on my voice. And I depend on voice, like I use my hearing a lot of all the time. So if there are speakers in the room and maybe the speaker is behind or is on the side, I tend to look at the direction where the sound is coming from. And that way, now you see, if you did not tell me like the stage is straight ahead, or is in this other direction, I'll keep on looking this other side, because in my mind, because the sound is coming from that other side, I assume that is where now, like, the stage is, or that is where people are standing, or whoever is talking is standing that other side. So that avoids that awkwardness, or it keeps it keeps us like also, it helps us face the direction that every other person is facing. Same case to the bar. Like the DJ, maybe the direction of the DJ, or the stage where people are dancing and everything else is happening, is ahead, or is this other side, because not everything that is ahead. Maybe you're sitting at a position where the stage is on the side. So it's important you say the DJ or whatever is on this side. so that I know I don't just keep on looking on opposite directions or following the sound, because that is the main guide. So that's a very good hint. It helps a lot for me. Well, I would say me, I normally ask which way is the front, like which way is, and I learned this after realizing I used to depend on the sound, and then it turns out the sound is on the on the opposite is on the opposite direction, and there's nothing there, or there are no people on that other side, and then you keep on looking at that other side, and it's weird. Yeah, so that is that. Another thing that is a good practice when you're dealing with a visually impaired person or interacting with a visually impaired person is to for example, if you've gone to a hotel or a restaurant, yeah, it's the restaurant, that is where there is food, or yeah, or a local, maybe a kibanda, describe when you're reading the menu, you don't just read meat and chicken, meat with rice, chicken with chips, and you're not reading prices. No, you see, when you read the menu, read the prices as well. Like, just say chicken and chips is 350, fish and ugali is this amount of money, is 1,000, soda is 100. Read the amount. I realize most people don't read the prices. They just read the food. They just say it's there is fruit salad, there is chips and chicken, there is fish and ugali. They don't tell you how much it costs. And you see, the price is very important, because if I only have 500 shillings and you are not reading the prices, I might choose something that is 1,000, then I'm not able to pay, or someone is stuck. So just read the prices, read the entire menu, because even you, as you look, I'm sure when you're looking at the menu, you also look at the price, the side, like the part that has the prices. So don't assume, read everything. It's important for information purposes, and also to help make good decisions. Same case to supermarkets, same case to clothes stores, like those stores where the clothes already have prices. Don't just tell me there's a black jeans or a white top, or there's a red dress. Read the prices. That really helps. So it's a good way of helping a visually impaired person make like an informed decision, because you don't want them to tell you, I want the blue one, and they don't know the price, or maybe they do not have the money to pay for the cost that is already marked on that item. Yes, another thing, the other thing is now this one. This one is very key and is very important. When you go to a house of a person who is visually impaired, it is important that you leave everything the way you found them. Like, you leave things the way you found them. Because, for example, me, I know, you see, I know how I arrange my house. I know where I keep, if it's the remote, I know this is where I put the remote. This is where the sugar dish is. This is where the salt is. This is where I put my oils, like my body lotions, everything. I have arranged my house so I know how things are. And there's nothing as frustrating as someone else coming in your house or in your room, and then they take things, they disarrange or they move things. That is so frustrating, because the moment you walk out or the moment you leave, I become so disoriented, or someone becomes so disoriented. They now start looking for things. They cannot find the salt, they cannot find their slippers. You see, now you've ruined their lives. You've ruined their space. So it's important, leave everything where you found them. Don't move things. And in case you move, because sometimes there might be need to move. If you move something, let inform them you've moved. Like the tissues, I moved the tissue. It's not like where you normally keep it. Maybe it's on top of the cistern, or I have moved the sugar from the, like where you normally keep it, it's now on the sink. Like, just say it, but if it's possible, leave everything the way you found it to avoid confusion and to avoid frustrations. Something else that I think is important is letting a blind person or a visually impaired person know when you put something in front of them. For example, if it's you are seated and there's a table, maybe you are serving food, maybe you're bringing tea. Like when you put something on the table, when you place something on the table, it's important you say, I've put there's water on your right, or there's tea on your right, there's a cup of tea on your right, there's fork this other side. Just describe so that they are able to know how the table looks like, and this now helps avoid accidents, because if you didn't say, if you don't mention that you've placed maybe a cup of tea in front of me, I might just move my hand. I might be just moving my hands normally, and I don't know. And you see, now that will create like an accident. It might fall, it might spill, like even spill on others. Like that helps avoid those small accidents. Something else that is important, and it's a good practice, is when you enter a room. Some people might think I'm attacking them, but I'm not attacking anyone. It's the truth, and it's a good practice. When you enter a room, or when you come to the office or somewhere where there like a VI, I mean a visually impaired person is, it's important, announce your presence. Like say, hi Betty, it's Brian, or hi Betty, it's Kevin, hi Betty, it's Sophie. Just say who you are. Don't don't sneak around, or don't just keep quiet, because sometimes I might hear steps, and someone is left wondering who is there. You see, just announce your presence, and then that way I'm able, or you just speak, just say hi Betty. You see, that way I'll know if we've interacted often, or if we are close. I'm most probably I know your voice, or the other person knows your voice, so they will be able to tell that's Brian, that's Kevin, that is Sophie, that is this and this, that person. So that really helps. Also, it avoids uncertainty, because sometimes if you're not used to someone and then they just come and say hi, and then they don't say who they are, some may even ask, guess who it is? Do you remember me? You see, now that creates confusion, because I will really think hard, like to want to remember, and also I don't want to get your name wrong. So it puts me, or it puts someone in a very awkward position. So just say your name. If you feel like we don't know each other well, that such that I don't know your name, or maybe that your visually impaired friend or person may not recognize you, just say who you are. It will avoid the uncertainty. Also, this is very common. When you're done speaking to a person who is visually impaired, and you have left, say you've left. Don't just leave. You see, people just leave, and like they are done communicating, and then they just walk away. And me, I am left. I don't know you've left, so I am left talking to myself. Which is really sad and funny at the same time. So I'm left speaking to myself, because you did not announce that you've left. So I am left there talking to myself. And I know this happens a lot to some of us. Or yeah, you can comment down in the comment section if this is something you experience. Of it, for me, it happens because people just come talk to you. After they're done, they go, and they don't tell you bye or see you, let's talk later. So you're left now. You still assume that person is still there, and all that time you're just talking to yourself. And it is, well, it's funny, but it's also sad at the same time. Yeah, and then another thing, or another good practice, is like using your words instead of gestures when you're addressing someone who is visually impaired. For instance, when maybe you want we are talking, and you want to say yes, instead of just nodding, say yes. Use words, because if you nod, I will not know you are nodding. If you are saying no, you see people just shrug their shoulders, and then when you do that, I can't see, so I won't know. So just use your words. You say goodbye, don't just wave, say bye. Those are just examples. Another thing is when I call, when let me just use myself, like when I call you and you like, instead of answering, you look at me. Now, if you look at me, I won't know you're looking at me. Just answer, just respond, just say yes, or just let me know you are listening or I have your attention, so that I proceed with my statement or whatever point I wanted to make, or the conversation. Because if you just look at me, I won't know you're looking at me. So, yeah. And another thing is, now this one is when you're guiding. Yeah, when you're guiding or you're assisting with movement, it's important to use your voice. I know most of the times someone will be holding your hand, and then you are just walking. Of course, I have my white skin, but you see, some things like stairs, it's if you don't say they are stairs, now that one can become a huge problem. So you just say there are stairs, and then you say down, like we are going down. Or if you're going up, you just say we are going up. If you it's crossing, maybe there's a small trench, you just say cross. I normally, personally, I use my white skin to help me like estimate the distance that I need to cross, so that it becomes easier that way. So the voice when guiding is important, because as I said, we mostly rely on our voices, on sound. So if you don't talk, we are just moving, then you'll find me myself knocking things, or the movement may not be as smooth. Then the other point that I wanted to make is, when in a room or in a house, or even in the office setup, it's important to avoid leaving the doors half open, because that one causes accidents which can be avoided. Because if the door is slightly open or it's half open, and I am just walking around, or someone who cannot see is just walking, you see, they will easily knock themselves, because of course the door is not like in the position that maybe it's normally is, and now that creates those minor accidents. It's something that used to happen um, to me a lot, but nowadays I think I have mastered this thing. I have known I have known how to live with. At the early stages, it was really difficult. I used to have so many accidents. Like my head, I would just have like swellings around this area, because I would just knock things everywhere. But nowadays I think I have mastered that. But it is important also to keep the doors, if you just close it or you leave it open in a manner that it won't cause accident. This also includes cabinets, like the kitchen, the closet doors. Those things, it will help. It goes a long way in helping avoid those minor home accidents. And then also, guys, it is okay to say to a blind person, see you, did you watch that, did you watch the game? Like, it's okay to use those phrases, because they are ordinary. I think they are ordinary phrases, like people use them a lot. I don't want to say they are ordinary vernacular, like they are commonly used. So it is okay, like someone will understand. I don't think one would take offense for saying see you, or I watched, sometimes I find myself saying I watched the game, or I watched this movie, or I watched that podcast. I use that terminology a lot. For me, it's a normal, or it's okay for me to say that. But sometimes I find people getting surprised, but I know most of them will be joking, like, you mean you watched? Yeah, but I understand, because if it's people that you're used to, then you get the joke. Yeah, so then also, like saying something that I don't appreciate is, and it's not a good practice. It's when someone says like, I wish you could see. Like maybe they have seen something nice or they are in a nice place, and then they tell you, oh, I wish you could see this, or I wish like you are able to tell. But I'm like, now for me, I normally say, instead of saying that, share the experience. Like describe, maybe if it's a good thing you've seen, if maybe it's a good dress, like maybe it's something nice, or maybe you're in a place that there are good sceneries. Just describe and share the experience. Share the experience. That way you share the experience instead of just saying, I wish you could see. That does not help anything, and it's not it might even make someone feel bad instead of enjoying the experiences with you. So yeah, the other thing, and I think this is the last point, is when people people come and ask you like, how do you think I look? Guys, that is ridiculous. Like, how do you think I look? How am I supposed to know how you look? Like, someone like expects me to gauge like from their voice or the way they are speaking to tell like maybe they are light or they are dark or they are fat or that is not it's I don't know, it's so ridiculous. So instead of doing that, for me, I don't know, for some people, there are people who are really open minded, and there are people who are really free, I would say. They'll just tell you, would you like to know how I look? Then they start describing themselves, and then someone else will say, would you like to touch me? And feel my face. Yeah, the people who offer, like they're like, I want you to touch my face. I want you, like, so that you're able to tell like these are the features, like this is how they look, and then they continue to describe how they look, which is really helpful. Yeah, though sometimes I feel like I have a way of knowing if someone is how someone looks, but sometimes it doesn't normally turn up to be the correct position. Yeah, and so I think that is all for this episode. In case you have any other comments or any other practices like that you think are good or are best practices when interacting with a visually impaired person, kindly leave them on the comment section. Also remember to like this video, watch, subscribe, and share with your friends. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.